It takes a team to make the dream work, right? So thank you for, obviously, I couldn't do this all myself. So my name is Mark Tesoro. I am the interim chair for Advisory Council for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And I welcome everybody here today, this afternoon. It is a hot one today here in Crownsville. Hopefully it's a little cooler where you are. Thank goodness the air conditioning is holding up. We have a jam-packed agenda, and there's a number of things I think we're going to try to do before we jump into all of our presentations. But there are a number of new and great people around the table today, so it's great to see some new faces. Just I want to make sure everybody knows that we are online as well. So I'm going to try to make sure that we capture, and we're going to make sure we capture information in question from online as well. But thank you all for being here, especially on a Friday with beach traffic potentially. So with that, I guess should we do a roundtable introductions, or do we do the team building first? I say we go around the table, right? What do you think about going around the table and introducing ourselves? Yeah. That sounds good. I don't have the list of members to do the roll call. We're just gonna go around the table. That's fine. So just for the record, this is the June 5th meeting of the Council on Deaf and Hard of Hearing. My name is Mark Tesoro, interim chair of the organization.
Hi, my name is Kathy. What? I'm the deaf citizen. And I represent the deaf community.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Allegra Holland. This is Department of Policy.
Section specialized instruction in the division of special education at the Maryland State Department.
Yes, yes,
Good afternoon. My name is
no. Yeah, yeah.
I'm a guest.
Yes, please,
Let's go to the back.
Mm.
You're not gonna get out of it.
Mm.
Go ahead, Nick. No, come on. Who are you?
Thank you.
Consensus,
Well,
and I'm a guest for them. Thank you for having
the.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes,
Anybody else in the background? You're assisting as well? Sure.
Mm.
My name is Scott. I'm feeling
the,
Here you go.
this,
My name is Rebecca. Rebecca Scissors. Yes, that is good. My name. This is my son's name. I work for Prince George County Park and Recreation. I'm the APA coordinator. Thank you for inviting me.
I brought a fan.
I'm Mark Scott. Here.
And we missed one gentleman in the back.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shane. I am an Eddie's in. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I think it's really important to get to know who everyone is and where we all come from, which is great.
No.
I left out that I work for the Maryland Department of Aging. So I'm representing the aging population. Along with everybody else, I guess. But I also have hearing loss, significant hearing loss. But nowhere near the skill sets of all of you. I'm just kind of learning along the way. So so thank you for having me here today to lead the meeting. At this point, I wanted to see if we have a team building activity. Okay. Yes. What are we doing today?
That, your friend.
All right, everyone. We are about to have fun. We have an activity. Can everyone see this? Make sure you see here.
On the screen. Perfect.
Should I move? All right, we have like fun activity. Some of you do something. If you'd like to be involved, completely up to you. Activity we have for today is vitals. Got you started very slowly into the assignment. So to the sidewalk, there's a green out on the side. Where you going to record the video so they can post it on social media. Everyone to be involved. To as the lives. Each one is like 30 seconds. This really good video. So if you guys want to click on this stuff, if you would like to be a part of this. And
This do
Great.
Yes, well, especially during my.
Oh, got it.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do. Thanks for my background. We got the bottom, the icebreaker. And well, feel free to email me to make background and then. Thank you so much for everything involved in that.
Diamond didn't get to introduce herself.
My name is Diamond Alberton. I'm the executive assistant for the.
Run that. So thank you. And for the people on Zoom, please, you can do our activity as well and let us know why. So you can do that with recording, so we can capture all that. So put your. In the meantime, I think we're gonna look at our January 9th and March 6th minutes. First, we'll do the January. Are there any edits to the minutes? Sir, motion to approve the minutes? January. Thank you, I appreciate it. All in favor? Aye. Any abstain? Nays? We'll do the January, oh, excuse me, the March 6th minutes now, if that's okay. Are there any edits? March 6 minutes. Going once, going twice. Is there a motion to approve the March 6 minutes? Thank you, I appreciate it. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you. All in favor of approving the March minutes? Excellent. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you doing that. These are the kind of the formalities of it. I did forget to say for folks who are new, to the club, if you do need to use the restrooms, they are outside. As you, as you exit. Just for housekeeping sake. The report from the chair at this point, I think we're gonna move from the report from the chair. Is that now occurring on the website? For sure. Or my report, I guess it's my report. I'm looking at the director. So I have just a few things I want to say. We had a number of conversations, Ursula and I online. We coordinated a meeting, which I was really excited about. Of not only the office of that part of hearing, but the office of disabilities, DHS, with Kelly Bloomberg was there, and DOD was in with Black. And we just went through on May 22nd a number of the priorities and what the Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing were interested in accomplishing. And we kind of were trying to brainstorm how all of the groups can get together to try to facilitate some objectives and goals that Ursula had laid out so well, and the whole office had laid out. So we made it through probably half of the items to try to understand which groups would be best to try to address which goals. And we have a meeting scheduled June 15th to kind of finish that up. But when we do, we should be able to come back to the group and have an idea of how we can more forward on some of these objectives, because there are a number of them. We wanted to prioritize them and get an idea of which things that occur quickly and which are more long term. So I found it to be a very good opportunity. And I was excited when we ended, and everybody was very interested in getting back together again to kind of finish up. So, again, that's what kind of occurred between the last meeting we had and this meeting. So I was very kind of enthusiastic and pleased how that occurred. Any questions about that meeting or what we discussed? It was very well laid out. I mean, we were using the framework that Ursula and her team put together, so just going through each item. What can we do to assist her? How can we make this better for the team? So, but Ursula's done an amazing job trying to move these things forward, which is not an easy. That is my report. Any questions? All right. I guess it's the directors. Right.
Yes,
Remember? Thank you After that, it will all be changed. Logo, website, which I did not Our report. You are able to find within the folder that you have. Like this weather. which is.
That-
Like.
that is- Let that
So far, are there any questions regarding?
that we
Seeing none, thank you so much.
So, I know that I actually, oh, okay, so. Oh, okay. We're okay? Great. So, I was gonna say, I know that I actually have received, I hope everybody has been receiving Ursula's newsletter in their inbox. Raise of hand, you've been receiving? Good. I know I've actually enjoyed looking it over. Oh, great. Very good. That's great. And it's a really actually, well done, summarized well. So I appreciate it. So thank you, Ursula, for doing that. And I'm gonna echo what Ursula said as well. My office is just slightly bigger than the office of Deaf and Hard Hearing. Well, maybe 40 people, 50 people in our office. And without everybody around the table putting in at least a hand to make this work happen, it wouldn't occur. And most of the people around this room have accomplished so much in their community, and to get where they are today through the challenges that they've faced, that it's remarkable. So putting that energy to work on some of the challenges that we have, there's nothing we can't do, in my opinion, honestly. So I applaud everybody around the table who has navigated a hearing world so elegantly. It is quite an accomplishment in its own. So thank you. So with that being said, I wanted to say that part of my responsibility is to convene groups, departments, agencies to bring some traction and momentum to some of the work that we have. And that's what we're going to be trying to do the coming years. With that, I think we'll just go into the presentations. Go ahead, do you have a question? Oh, we are very fortunate today. We have Diamond presenting for today's presenter. So that's great. Thank you, Diamond. Floor is yours.
Hello again, everyone. First, I want to recognize Junior NAG who's online with us today. It's great to see you guys again. And for our first presenter for today, we have the co-chair of CLIC, Sharon McDougall. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today to talk about mental health services in the state of Maryland. First, I just want to clarify a few things. When I talk about I used to my hands. The mental health services in Maryland that I'm talking about today are primarily the services and are publicly funded. So these are for individuals who have medical assistance or financial needs. And when I'm going to be using the term deaf, and that part is hearing, that's fine. So just to introduce myself and give you a little bit of background about why I do what I do. I have a family of three siblings, two of which are deaf. And my one deaf sibling is also called deaf plus. So she has autism and she also has mental health challenges. When I was knee-high or grasshopper, I was tasked with helping my mom take care of my sister. I learned sign language very quickly and then got to have the experience of seeing my sister grow up, accessing services, and just being a general helper. So when I got to the point where I had to make decisions about my career, I've been into the helping business. And I have been involved in my sister's life all of her life. She was placed in a residential program after she graduated from school. This program was under the behavioral health at that time, medical hygiene administration. And she lived there all of her adult life until 1 year ago, when we got her moved into her own apartment in Salisbury with support from deaf independent patients. And that was hard work. In addition to being a family member, I was also a provider of service. The first job in the mental health field was with Family Service Foundation. I was the first site coordinator for what then was the Western Region Mental Health Center in Prayer. That was the first program that was opened in that region. We had residential services, we had day programming, and we had an outpatient clinic. We worked primarily with people who were coming out of Springfield State Hospital, transitioning into the community, and needed support in learning how to live independently. My next job, I worked for the core service agency, or the local mental health authority for Fresno. And there I took on a more administrative role in terms of we were responsible for managing, monitoring, and helping develop services for the whole county spreader. And I still work for Family Service because they work for Fresno County, and I still have that connection. But this job really opened my eyes to what was going on in the system, not only in the county, but in the state. So I met some people in the state, made some connections, and that really helped me a lot in my advocacy work. Having those perspectives was really key. Helps what I do as an advocate. Next slide. So this is just an overview during the introduction. I'm going to do a brief history services and then talk about my observations. And last one. So real briefly, in the state of Maryland, there were no services, no support for individuals who had mental illness. It was until the early 1980s. So in the 1960s or so, people had mental illness and were deaf. They were put in state hospitals. No access to communication. It was just there. As a result, 1983, there was a lawsuit. And the result of that lawsuit was the creation of the Deaf Unit at Springfield State Hospital. The Deaf Unit was top quality. All of the staff that worked there, almost all, were fluent in sign language, understood that culture. There were special programs like art therapy, communication studies, communication specialists. It was a really wonderful program. We had At the same time, patients in Springfield needed to transition out to the community, didn't have community-based. So during that time, services like residential programs, big programs, and outpatient services were started. They began with the center in Georgia County, and then they developed in Baltimore County. Started in Harford County. So we had services, based. These services, these programs were funded by grants. From 1997, the grants ended. The state went through a huge transformation. Grants ended, and we entered into the fee-for-service world. Fee-for-service meaning I provide a service, I bill the state, they pay me for that service. Why this is difficult for the providers to provide services to deaf and hard of hearing. A 50-minute therapy session is not typically what happens in a session with a deaf client. Sessions tend to go longer. Interpreters are involved. And you have providers, therapists who have gone through a lot of special training and continue to do that and should be compensated appropriately. So for service, there's no allowance for that. Using interpreters, the therapist has to take on those extra costs. So the fee-for-service system really did some detrimental thing for the service system. And as a result, some of the top-notch, most expert people in the field of deafness and mental health and programs started to provide less services. For example, in Frederick County, started out with residential day and outpatient. Frederick County no longer has its outpatient. That's where we are today. The under fee-for-service, still struggling. Just want to mention a couple additional things. I talked about the regions being Prince George's, Baltimore, Frederick. We now have a provider in and we also have mental health services. The Eastern Shore had no coverage, no services for a long time. A professor at Gallaudet, Teresa Crow, wrote a paper, developed a pilot project. The director of ODHH, Rick Evitel, partnered with her, wrote legislation. Law was passed, and now we have telemental health services. They're provided by a deaf therapist who works at the lodge. The other thing we do have now, the state provides interpreter service funding to 13 jurisdictions. So they get grants, local authorities can distribute that much to others. If you're not in one of those jurisdictions, then that jurisdiction does not have any pressure. So it does not cover the whole state. I want to talk now just about ideas that I have observations and things that are very important to me in terms of the way our system needs to develop, needs to get better. And the first thing is community involvement. I see this as a priority, something that is at the top list of my advocacy issues. We know that change, improvement takes place when people make themselves known. Recently, DDA, Governmental Disabilities Administration, was facing significant cuts. They went out, they protested, they rallied. lots and lots of people. The governor responded by reducing the money that was cut. Where are we? Where are we making money now? Our there are a handful of people I know of that are strong advocates for mental health services in Maryland. Ursula and I do a lot. Serve on the cultural inclusiveness committee, and we also meet with staff of the behavioral health administration, working on some projects. We need more people to come to our committee meetings. We need more people to come to us with concerns. When people are not getting interpreter service. We need voices. We need people to stand up and say what's the services and programs in Maryland are not adequate. Years ago, I was involved 2006 to 2015. This council, Maryland Advisory Council, had a mental health committee. That was a formal group that had representatives from stakeholders around some from the state department that are here today. People receiving services, family members, representatives from the state. That was an active group that came up with 3 proposals for system-wide services. And when this was ended, when the committee ended in 2015, I don't remember why it ended, but we need something like that again. A formal group that can take on the advocacy that few of us are doing now. Funding, I'm sorry, data. The current system of data collection right now is totally lacking. My understanding is that the way that deaf people are represented as people receiving services depends on whether or not the intake therapist complete a question that says, is this person here have a hearing loss step? It's not required in the intake process. I was told by someone at the state that only about 50% of the intake therapists complete this question. So that we're missing out on a lot of people that are receiving services. And is the deafness is a low incidence disability as it is. And now we have, our numbers are much less because they're not being identified in this process. We're working on it. The data is so important because data drives funding. The proposals I mentioned, they were never funded. Why? Numbers don't justify the funding. You have other groups here who have more people and they deserve the money. So we've got to get our numbers up. We've got to get the data system that adequately represents the number of people receiving services. I am going to jump over here. The last thing I want to talk about is the goal of all of this. What do we want to have here? We want to have a comprehensive system that provides services throughout the whole continuum, meaning prevention, early intervention, treatment, recovery, crisis, and inpatient services. All of those services need to be available in a network of providers, services with the individual at the center. The individual needs to be at the forefront, deciding what services they want. And currently, services are, just the state decides what services are there, what programs are there. They don't know a lot about that necessarily. What we need is for people to advise the state, so services are provided for the community rather than that goes back to. So what is part of this comprehensive system? There are model programs throughout the country, Alabama, South Carolina, Minnesota, that have shown us characteristics, shown us what works in their jurisdiction. What works? Regionalized services. So having a network of regional centers where qualified providers reach out to people in those areas and provide them with services. Statewide coordinators. Those states have coordinators specifically who to develop programs, write policies, procedures, and represent this population at their state. There also are there's an emphasis on professionals, the importance of providing direct to one services versus services through an interpreter. So making priority being bringing more professionals who are culturally and linguistically affirmative into the system to provide services that way. Final thoughts. We have a lot to do in the state of Maryland. I've been involved in this for 35 years. It's been difficult times, frustrating, but today I really feel encouraged and hopeful. I feel like the doors are opening. The state is now asking us to provide them with assistance, to tell them what should we be doing or what should they be doing. We are now meeting with the staff once a month. Priscilla and I, and we've identified gaps in services and we're trying to implement ways to do that. We're working on training, which is one of the things I should, and also getting together stakeholder meetings and hopefully coming up with a as a group to advocate. 2023, the BHA set up stakeholder meetings. So all across the state of Maryland, they had people provide them with input about gaps in services. And the same year they had a conference. The keynote speaker was a professor from Gallaudet. So that was a huge thing. These are things that are happening in a few years. Hopeful. I'm saying that DHA is saying, hey, we're here, we want to do better. Help us out. And the last thing I just want to say, I did not do this without my partner, Ursula, who has been super committed, devoted a lot of energy and time to doing this advocacy work with me. And I thank her. And thank you all for having me here today. Are there any questions or comments? That's comment today. Can I make a comment? Thank you, Sharon, for your presentation. We got the co-chairs for the behavioral health. So we have something called the cultural basics program, inclusivity, culturally linguistic inclusivity committee, and we're co-chairs. So that's the group. And I can't do it without you, Sharon. It's a really big team effort, honestly. And you have to remember how we started getting involved with the deaf community, because some people were born deaf. Some people were hearing and became deaf later. Some people connected with the deaf community later in life and had to pick up sign language. So it's really varied, but thank you so much for your support, Sharon. You're a benefit to us because you have a sister. But I think I remind you all that it's not only us in this game, whether you're in the committee or not. We have a lot of people on the outside as well to support. The group that I have been involved with this year is the DDA. So they at Capitol in Annapolis. And they are called the Development Disability Day. Yeah, the Development Disability Day. DDA. And that's not only for hearing people, deaf people have deaf as well as disabilities too. So it's for everyone with a disability. So you visit this event, you visit the delegates and the offices during that day, and you get to see what goes on. So for development for disability, you can see what they write, the bills that go forward. If we're here, we're not going anywhere. We're here to do that. And we're Marylanders. So thank you so much again, Sharon, for your benefit. And I look forward to next year, 2027, when we all as a group will go to the Capitol and say, hey, we're here. We're going to show DDA that we have deaf line, and part of your people in disability. Sharon, you're not excused for your questions. I'll just like some clarification. I'm not sure if you mentioned the establishment of family services and that agency shut down, or is this still open? Because some comments said that it was shut down, and I contacted the agency and saw that it was still up and running. So is that correct? It's in Atlanta. Is it still an operation?
Yeah, because they serve mostly actually hearing people and people with developmental disabilities. So they're a big organization. Roger. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you again, Sharon. Now we'll have the ear acoustic inventor, Justin Lee.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is. Good afternoon. My name is Justin Lee, and I'm here on behalf of the Census. And just to provide a brief story, I invented a non-electronic assistive technology called ear acoustic headphones. And these headphones not only improve sound, but also the quality of sound for the user. So my good friend, Kenneth Tiso, he was a Vietnam veteran that often struggled, and his wife would oftentimes complain about the television being too loud. And so he was a veteran, he couldn't afford high price hearing aids, and that was the inception of product that you see here today. And so not only is the product non-electronic, it requires no batteries, no wires, no interfacing with Bluetooth technology, and the product is important. One issue that we encountered with my friend was the hearing aids that he wanted to purchase were too expensive. They averaged between $1,500 to $6,000, and he had a fixed income, being a military veteran, and could not afford priced hearing aids. So we now have a $20 product that people can purchase. Currently targeting the senior demographic with mild to moderate hearing loss, as well as children with ADHD. So the product is not only helping seniors, but also children in classrooms that are having low retention rates and difficulty concentrating in the classroom. Next chart. So introducing ear acoustic headphones. So the product, we've coined the phrase readers for your ears. So when you think of readers' glasses, they're typically utilized to read items on the menu, reading items in newspaper, because you just need some enhancement while improving your business. The same concept applies for your acoustic headphones. It simply enhances and increases the quality of sound when you need it. So this isn't a product that you wear throughout the day. Simply put them on when you need it. And if you're done, you just simply take them off. In most cases, typical clients wear them while watching television, movies, attending church services, even having basic conversations with friends. One of the strong points is that product fits directly and that in the ear canal, which we discovered customer discovery can be sometimes uncomfortable, and sometimes people are using one of the devices purchase another one. So this product simply fits over your earway, and it's not necessarily embedded into your ear acoustic headphones. It concentrates on enhancing forward-facing sound. So if you're watching television, going a movie, the sound that you're facing is going to be amplified and concentrated into your earway, while also reducing background. So, for example, children in the classroom, if I'm facing the teacher, the sound is going to be amplified. Listen to the teacher, and noise behind me, the noise to the sides, are going to be reduced significantly. So that's another strong point. People say, how does it work? It's basic physics. If you think of an amphitheater, sound and travels in sound waves, and it reflects off of support cups, it's directed into your earplane, opposed to being absorbed in certain materials such as cotton. So sound waves are reflecting off of the support cups, and it's directed directly into your ears to help enhance and sound. Next one. How does it work? This kind of explains it. It's concentrated into your earway. Headset is made from recyclable plastic, so it's brain friendly and it's in COVID, we saw germ being spread and a lot of bacteria being spread. So in the case of this headphone, it's made out of recyclable plastic and you can wipe it off and sanitize it with Lysol wipes. And use them again and share them for the case of a classroom. You can use sanitation wipes and have them available for next children. that need to It's grain friendly. It's completely wireless and environmentally friendly. There are wires, electronics, no batteries, no wires, which makes things several easy. If and lastly, the headphone is only $20. So not only is it easy to use, there's no wires, no batteries, and it's affordable. One thing that we discovered during customer discovery is that hearing aids and hearing devices are only covered by Medicare and Medicaid. And if people do have insurance, it's still paying nearly $1,500 for devices that function after 3 to 5 years. And if you use one, you have to pay for repair. So it's a simple, easy solution that we're offering. Next slide. Innovation. We've discovered that hearing loss concerns are more common, in aging adults, but as we've discovered that all ages can be impacted, by hearing loss. And so in this form, it may not be appropriate for this, but we're mostly concentrating on the mild to moderate hearing loss opposed to severe hearing loss. On the office, be prescribed a prescription for prescription hearing device. Also done studies at the University of Maryland, College Park, and did speech laboratory. So they have quantifiably determined that there's a 5+ decibel decrease in the headphones versus without. And also conducted studies at Winston-Salem State University, understanding that there's a correlation between hearing and brain function. So in the case of those with ADHD, dementia, and head trauma, that you're hearing, there's a direct improved correlation brain function as well. Next, sir. Okay. So there are 52 million senior citizens in the country. 48 million Americans are affected by hearing loss. Problem. 1.5 billion people worldwide are currently impacted by hearing loss. And we are seeing more than 14% of adults ages 65 and older are using hearing aids. The trends are showing that these numbers will exponentially increase because we don't understand the long-term impacts of using AirPods. How many Yep. So think of your niece, your nephew, or your grandchild that uses AirPods. We don't necessarily understand long-term impacts. So we're expecting those numbers to increase significantly. Next, our competition, we have several competitors with products similar, but not exactly at the standard. So we're 1-1. Next, our purpose. The intent is to provide innovative and affordable technology solutions to enhance the quality of life of patients. As I mentioned, neighbor, he had difficulty hearing, and his wife would complain about it. So he can't enjoy the television, watching movies, and keep having conversations. It's hearing, you know, and that's what our intentions are to affordable solution to help improve the quality. Next. In conclusion, so we know that hearing loss is the fourth leading cause. Disability globally is associated with social isolation, depression, cognitive decline, and other negative health outcomes. And we want to help improve that for not just national markets, but also successes. We've conducted scientific studies at several universities and academic institutions. Been the recipients of several grants and awards in the state of Maryland. We featured on radio and also in the newspaper, the Washington Post, and several distinguished articles. And we're looking to continue to grow. Also, to Instagram as well as Facebook. And also LinkedIn. Next. Skip that. And here's our team. I'm the executive officer, Justin. Nicole, she's a medical physician at MedStar Shop in Waldorf, Maryland. And my good friend, Greg James, he's the director of sales, and Joshua Frank, he is the lead for digital. Next. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you for Mr. Brown, the organization to speak today. Thank you for having me.
Yes, does that do anything for candidates?
So there have been cases where we've run into clients that
I'm sorry, this is incorrect. I missed your part of it.
Does that have any relation to how candidates?
So it not necessarily, the tinnitus is more internal, so it doesn't help improve that ringing, but we have had clients that have difficulty hearing out of one ear. And when they wear the headphones, it does help improve that ability, but not specifically for tinnitus. Great question. Sure. So I have a few with me that are available for purchase. And we can also purchase on our website. The website is on, it's at the bottom of the flyer here. Yeah, sure. And we also we can ship directly to you. We're also on Amazon and also on eBay as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Are there any more questions? If not, thank you so much, Justin. I mean, we want to introduce him.
Okay, thank you again, Jessica. Now we're gonna have.
Well, while she pulls that up, I'll introduce myself again. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Smith. I am a special assistant with the governor's office on appointments. I'm honored to be here today. I get to work with Ursula. I've been working with her since about 2024 for a lot of our boards and commissions that fall under the Governor's Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing. I started out as a special assistant, so I had her office, arts, education, and things like that in my portfolio. And now I've had the opportunity to grow into the role of special assistant, where I assist the secretary with the governor's portfolio. But I told the secretary when I got the promotion that it did not want to leave Ursula behind. So she is one of the boards that I, asked to hold on to continue the work and, get to see them grow and flourish. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So is this the one? Okay. Maryland's boards and commissions are a critical extension of state government. We have over 600 boards and commissions and 500 seats that we appoint to. Each legislative session, there is legislation passed that creates more boards and commissions. So the number grows every year. And our office does the work across the various agencies to find members to sit on these boards and commissions. Yeah. So we categorize our boards and commissions into 3 categories. The industry, arts and culture, commerce, economic development, the governor's office of deaf and hard of hearing. The board type, we have Senate confirmable boards in addition to what we call our general boards. So for example, our Senate confirmable board require candidates to go. It may require candidates to go in front of the Senate during legislative session confirmation, whereas our general boards, it's more of a hands-on process with the appointments office and the agency that you wish to do work for to begin your service. After that, it's the function. What does the board do? Some of these boards give direct agency oversight, like the Commission on Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Some of them advise our secretaries, our cabinet secretaries. Some of them make policy recommendations, and some of them have fiscal oversight. So just more insight into our Senate confirmable versus our general boards. A great example is the Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. This board is what we consider a Senate confirmable board. 9 times out of 10, well, some of you have been on the board since before the administration, so the process may have been different, but in 2025, senators passed legislation. So for Senate confirmable boards, we're only able to appoint to these boards now between the months of December and February. We actually have 90 days once session starts to get all these names, recruitment, outreach, vet, and find candidates for these boards versus our general boards, like the State Board of Sign Language Interpreters, that falls under this portfolio, whereas we get to have more time with outreach, spend the summer recruiting and finding candidates, and things of that nature. So how to apply for an appointment. I think that this is the most important part of, why I'm here and what our office does. Prior to the start of the Moore Miller administration, there weren't that many people that knew that board service was a thing, or that, it was an open opportunity to all. I will say that this administration kind of prides itself on the public process that has, been able to be provided for candidates to apply to all of our boards and commissions. Even if you are someone that identifies with the deaf and hard of hearing community, you can apply for boards outside of your community. If you're interested in the arts, if you're interested in health, education, we encourage you to go to our website, take a look at our board directory. It lists all of our board opportunities, the functions, what they do, what agencies they oversee. And we encourage candidates to apply. It's a public application portal. If you have any issues with the application portal, our team is always happy to help walk applicants through each and every process. Candidates can also be recommended to boards. If you're recommended to a board, 9 times out of 10, you're sitting at home checking your email, you got a random email from our application portal that says, hey, someone recommended you and encourages you to apply. This is another way that, candidates find out about Maryland, board service. But, we always just let people know, even if you're not interested now, when a year from now, you decide, hey, who was that young lady that came to talk about appointments? If you just search governor's appointments on Google, state of Maryland, it should pop up. And one thing I want to encourage people is to not really put, a time on one service or think that you have to have a certain level of, expertise. A lot of these boards and commissions outside of requiring levels of expertise ask for general public members because as a citizen, as a member of the public, your voice and your opinion matters. You can go to the next slide. So now, I want to give a bit of insight into what our office considers when we are appointing to boards and commissions. I think that this is very important outside of us having an open application portal and candidates can see, okay, I applied for the sign language board of interpreters. It has 7 seats. Why have I heard back from your office? Things like that. So in our office, it's important for us to know the board. We take a step back and look at the entire makeup of the board. How many women, how many men, how many people that identify, as veterans, how many people that identify with disabilities, sexual orientation, things like that. We connect with our point of contacts and ask them what levels of expertise, they have on the board. What is it that they're lacking? What is it that they need? And then we identify the appointment opportunities. So when candidates apply, because, we make appointments year round and candidates may often be like 4-year term cycles, things like that. Opportunities may exist, but they may not exist until the next year or the following year. So we encourage people to apply, but always check in, let us know that you're still interested. There are candidates that applied in 2023 that were just, submitted for an appointment this session. So the opportunity always exists. We're just working with, certain term cycles and things like that. So the nomination process, it is our job as the appointments officer to follow the format. Leaving no one behind and considering excellence and equity.
Well,
Excellent. So I just wanted to give a slide to give a bit more insight and provide examples. As I mentioned, we want to give every member the opportunity to that come from the Eastern Shore, Montgomery County, my home county. We want to consider regardless of where they live, how they so we consider things like a lot of our disabilities toward having more female representation from those that step up. So we look at filling appointments consider when we're talking to the content. Let them know that we're focused on identifying younger candidates come from the we just look for the representation of the state when we're considering this person that waste. And I think a good this portfolio it has great geographic representation. You see in the next slide, a snippet of the roster on the left, you see great representation when it comes to representation. opportunities, we would, take in contact, how can we identify? Increase representation. One thing that we pride ourselves in the office is increasing representation. It's sometimes, fun for us when we're talking with, put in contact. To let them know that. So if I'm told that there is no Latino representation in the deaf and hard of hearing, I'm gonna do what I can to find. It's in the pudding, the Washington Post in 2020.
Yo,
One of the most that
right.
so if we improve, the state that representation is there. So just the timeline, you guys are encouraged to service, which I know that most of the boards and commissions, but anyone will be grateful for surveys. One is and outside of that. We do have a central email system. It's gov.at Maryland. I'd say towards after that, once we get applications in, we can go through the data verification background process. So outside of this, going through, we also take a step back. The board does it expand in the data right now for us to after that, we process paperwork. So we'll require you to take a vote at your courthouse before you begin your service. And if you are entering into a single family, they have to go and after you into the board, you start for your 4-year term length. We usually try to office under this administration. We try to follow these conceptions. So to serve 2 full consecutive years. As well. In some of our boards and commissions, third, 2 full, 3-year terms, 2 full 3-year terms. So our is pretty much the rules. Some people that receive for a year, we still find that issue. So look at that as next slide. So I feel like this is the most important part about becoming a volunteer for the state of Maryland. This is put to a city or general work, which do require like sitting confirmed that they require the appointee to take oath. And it's always for 20 to go to the Senate, and when appointees are officially elected, we always tell people if they're not sure what to do to all these people are excited, they see a letter okay, you're ready to serve. We try to make sure that so the importance of the oath. Every person elected, appointed, elected or appointed to the office shall he or she is take and subscribe to the following information. Our cabinet members have to take a vote. Most of them has physical oversight and
Yes,
secretary.
Yes. Yes.
9 times out of 10, they have to swear. The council actually takes a look at the commissions and let us know. You can push one request to swear. But I think the consequences, outweigh the benefit with this one, so this is why we try to stress to our clients the importance of swearing in, because
Yes.
for some reason, you start swearing in,
Yes.
outside of being a compliance, it may fall. under the
Yes.
HSE, which we, try to avoid. But it also makes you member, null and void because you're sworn in.
What the
Slow down. Because but other than that, the oath is the last process with serving and what's being served. Unless something that you hear from us here, until it's time for you to consider appointment or reappointment. You don't have to hear from us, but if any reason at all, while you were a board member, to if there's any questions. No question is, we have reached out to us to say, they think that's
oh,
reach out to them and let them know. So let's say process and to connect with, see how they. You've heard it all. So some of the things that we can help with, and some of it, we just like people to their staffers. Goal to increase our visitation for the state of Maryland. And, I think that big step with it. And I can honestly say that the governor it's surprising me. I think they smallest part of the job. Conversations. He's like, oh my God. So, he's actually, looking at paying attention to the thank you again for having me. Any questions? I'm happy to answer. Thank you so much.
That's my bag.
Thanks for backing me up.
No,
Really.
yep, but yes,
Seeing what is needed out. So we're looking for
yeah,
vice chair, secretary. August 31st.
but
That we can do that. Has been
this is
so you can see that for a process. We had all of my instead of having. So right now, the whole side is that same map, and underneath that. That way.
Yes.
And it will be.
No.
And it'll.
Oh, shit, no. but yeah, that's it. But mm, mm,
Okay, thank you again, Susie. Thank you to
Yeah,
all
man.
our speakers today. I'm going to.
yeah, it's yeah.
It always amazes me, the wonderful students.
That's it. But,
There's so much going on, it's hard for anyone to know everything that's happening. It's very, it's that we're constantly trying to. And what I want to do is because that's the funding is not readily available, so we need to know what we have
yeah,
and what we can
that
let
fast, you,
that it's not.
yeah. But
It's not
yeah,
being super- Already. So.
yeah,
I think we can say about how Rachel and Sharon have been fighting a good fight.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
You have a wonderful new product. Representation is everything that we can leverage to help our cause, we're going to. You know, and especially with state agencies, it's not just kind of think about how they leverage what they're working on to help even to forward some of the efforts that people have. Since we have just left off with talking about places, I'm thinking that we should probably vote. Today. So today, we have, the opportunity to, again, chair. I don't know. Say a few words, Marcus, before we do the officials. I'll be back. Hello, everyone. I am very excited to be here to listen and learn and so much about what's going on and looking forward to what we can do. In partnership together to get things done, we work together and really achieve our goals. So thank you, Ursula. For the discussions that we've had, also today around, it's been incredibly helpful. I'm looking forward to rolling up my sleeve and seeing what we can do together. Stepping up and helping. And with Make a motion, actually, if there's a motion to approve. This chair. We do a second. Can I see a raise of hands for? It's Dr. Second. Shoot. It looks like any names, any abstain. Thank you. That's it. Welcome. I welcome Mark to obviously. Continue. Here. So I'm spot my heart for this group.
Nice.
I also want to. Get the secretary's position.
Ms. Kramer?
Chắc là hai ba ba
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let our last meeting.
that is
Help more than I'm doing, so. That's from more than.
Happy Friday. And I
But-
did hear Mark last quarter say that he could use some help.
Yeah. But
See. I did.
Mm. But that
When I'm with ET,
luôn ba
and as a secretary.
yeah but
and I think
yeah I
so the secretary.
yeah 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 this
So can I have a motion to?
I make a motion to nominate as secretary.
Is there a second?
I'll second. I'll second.
Thank you. Can I have a raise of hands for the bottom? Any extensions? Extension? Excellent. Well, thank you. Very much appreciated. Both positions, just so everyone knows, both the chair position, the secretary position, what that allows is for Ursula and her teams to increase their, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. I love it.
For the reference, it's I'm here on behalf of executive director and that side of the state.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarification. And what I was saying was that with the addition of the chair and the secretary, it expands the capacity of what Ursula is doing and continues doing as well. So now it's not just having people in a position, but it actually helps spread the workload and we can do more work than we have done in the past, which is very exciting. To, so thank you both. I think we will move up to new business. And share the reports around the table. Now, I do want to make sure that we have a number of new faces and members. So please don't hesitate to let us know what's going on in your office, agency, department in particular, because we are interested in hearing what's happening. So I'm just gonna move the table here and ask folks to just provide any potential reports that you have, things you'd like to share with the group. Oh, certainly, please, thank you. Mike. Oh. Good afternoon, everybody, and General President Henderson. One of the updates I wanted to share is about our Raising the Bar conference that is coming up in September. It is our workforce conference, and I invite everybody here to attend. One, I am, but it's a great opportunity to interface with those that work in the different development across the state. Every one of our local areas, there are 13 of them, will be represented there. It is 2 full days plus a pre-conference. The pre-conference is for services, which again, basically delegation time for the state. And so I'm excited that we're having an entire pre-conference on each services in the state. So that's that. The second piece is sort of in line with what we're talking about being engaged in the process. The Department of Labor, as well as a lot of our other sister agencies,
opportunities for public comment on our policy initiatives and things we can. Every board I'm a part of, I make this ask. One, go register so that you get the updates that the new policy is out. Two, comment. Even if it's just, have you considered the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf, blind community? Or whatever community you are most interested in making sure that these policies are inclusive of. Make your comments. Oh. That's why I'm breaking that up. It was a big one. Each local area, is in the process of writing their local plans. Those plans detail how workforce are delivered in their local area, who delivers them, when they're delivered, all of that information. One is a good place to find out information about what's going on in your local area. And two, again, this is an opportunity to provide comment. This cycle only happens twice every 2 years. So now is the time. Go on the website, you know, those policy updates will include the local plans, as local things are part of, policy. So the main reason why I brought it up then is it's local policy.
Thank you so much for sharing. That. Really appreciate it. I think it's interesting too, because, I think for us state people in our heads, we know that the new year actually starts in July. So when we say 2027, we're not talking December, January, we're talking 2 months. So, you know, month away. So, yeah, so that's why we're talking 2027. Because our fiscal year for the state starts in July. And there's gotta be no, like, yes, ma'am.
Hi again, everyone. Yeah, pretty much. The committee on business, everyone has access. Give the statewide alcohol office for deaf access. I wanted to bring to your attention that the National Deaf AA Board new support grant, new voice support grant, similar to the 988 support grant that they have, where there's someone there that can and I know there are quite concerns here for people who youth, and they are not being excluded from this. That because it does affect everyone. And young people need to know that too. So there is also something facing them. So that you can go there, people who are not. People learn. Do that. Thanks. And if there's agencies. Share. Because we represent the community, I am interested in some of the community. Say from purpose of the qualifications, we've applied for a number of. The administration for community. Caregiver, the Google caregiver services and support. So. We're. Let's see our seniors to see if I still. Caregivers. If you're not a caregiver, you will be. So we. Activities. For. It's
Oh.
Hello, everybody. I want to tell you all that I am very proud of Anne Blackfield, or excuse me, for Anne Black, for the renaming of the office of ODHH. This has been a fight that we've been having for many years as a deaf-blind community. We have been shunned by the deaf-sided community. And this is something that now today, with Anne Black having passed away, her dream has come to fruition. And now we've won the fight. We are rebranding ODDBHH officially. So thank you all for your support of our community and all of your board support and the Anne Black support for all of the effort that went into this to successfully make it happen.
So, thank you. And I'm a big fan of it. I think there was an invite to the, that was a different person. Never mind, I take it back. Any other pieces of information to share with the group? Oh, crucial then.
Yes. Thank you so very much to all of the presenters and to Edwin. And just know you're not alone. This is a team effort. Thank you for recognizing Anne Black, because we do want to tribute to honor her. Let's do that with the moment of silence, please. Thank you. And my comment is regarding our website. It's a new website and it's through the governor's office. They do the front page there. You can click the link and it will take you to our website or the deaf department here. And it's finally been included under the office, and that was October 1st. Well, and they will include the deaf blind community of the October. And so I want to thank you for that.
Any more announcements before we go on to the school business? I'm gonna say, is there any old business that we'd like to cover? Going once. Sorry, acceptance. Unless there's anything else. Motion to adjourn. I'll second, Marcus. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and thank you everybody for coming today. I appreciate seeing so many citizens. Have a great day.
This is fun. Would like to share any comment? Any town hall events from the community?
So when you are breaking today, that means it's a big day there.
So, thank you for making me go through it. Right?
nice.
Thank you so much. I wish I'd asked you sooner. I offered you a tablet. Well, the tablet is free because it's not. No, actually, I have checked. And what they asked me if I could see it, and I said, "Well, see that one." We'll get it. Okay. But I'll make that also. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Thanks so much. I got on here. You're the sister of the battery. You charge happy good. I can charge you the week. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Take them back.
No.
But if you did, you want them to have a good vision. You should have. Yeah. I'm going to look. Like you say, sorry.
Everything, like, I don't want to hear. Right.
So, the reason why that you're the one who was the no.
I have you to leave.
Yes.
We're gonna next stop is